Hello and welcome to our weekend mini nerve. I'm trying to take over to the woodshed and her voice is like taking over my being. Okay, today we have a nepo baby to end all nepos, at least for the moment, and at least one who is currently, if you want to win, here you're winning. You're leading the race to the bottom. I'm going to preface this by saying, of course, not all nepo babies are bad. Some are great. Michael Douglas, one of the greatest. But this one has been held aloft by the entire entertainment/media industrial complex as an icon of intelligence, style, and independence. And we are currently withstanding this onslaught as we speak. This is one Tracee Ellis Ross, the 52-year-old actress daughter of the legendary Miss Diana Ross. Tracee, if you haven't been assailed by unceasing promotion on all forms of media, has a new show on the Roku channel. As I was just saying to our producer, Marlena, I didn't even know Roku had a channel. And I consume a lot of media, so I guess it's doing its job. Okay. Now, her show is called Solo Traveling with Tracee Ellis Ross. She has been on the Today Show, Watch What Happens Live, and then she's been giving live talks, I'm sure, to paying audiences over at the New York Times and Travel and Leisure. And of the many places Tracee claims to have been, there's one I'm going to guess she's not been to. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying we decided this should be a mini after hearing and watching many of her interviews, or what passes for interviews on these like high level, high profile platforms. Tracee has trouble forming a thought, okay? And she has trouble forming an original thought. And when I saw this, she was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, who, he's a star effer nonpareil. And it was Tracee and that young actress/comedian Meg Stalter, who's currently starring in Lena Dunham's terrible Netflix show, Too Much. She's like the Lena alter ego. Now, Meg is not what you would consider like a Hollywood starlet. She is not real thin. She is not like surgically altered to look like a Blade Runner replicant. She's a little bit off the wall. She's funny though. You never know where she's going. Now she starts opening her mouth to Andy Cohen, and Tracee starts kind of like rolling her eyes and like kind of looking at Andy like you and I are in on this joke together over here, right? And then about a minute in, Andy like comes alive with Meg Stalter, and he's like, he can't stop laughing. And she's just like, they're like going at it. And suddenly Tracee turns around and she's like, oh, now I know where I got to go. Oh, this one, she's hilarious, isn't she? That's exactly who we're dealing with. Okay. Exactly. So, and Andy likes to spoon feed his guests like questions or like give them stupid games to play that are very easy. Like if you have an iota of intelligence or a sense of humor, they're designed to make you look good. And Tracee was looking around for help, for like real assistance. So, okay. We are going to begin with episode 1 of her new travel show, the premise of which is she likes to travel solo. This is not unusual for people to travel solo. I'm going to preface this by saying, I love to travel and I will never not go someplace just because I'm going to go by myself. And sometimes I deliberately go by myself because I love it. I don't want to be beholden to anybody else's, they want to do this. I don't want to do I love to experience a new culture solo. The thing of it is, though, as a woman, you have to travel differently than a man. You move throughout the world differently. You just do. She could have done a real service here, and we'll get into it. Now, episode 1, and these episodes are about 20 minutes each, which again tells you something. She is going to Morocco. And she says she decided to pick Morocco for trip 1 because she's never been. She's a world traveler. She's never been to Morocco. And here we are going to see and listen to Tracee's expert advice on prepping to pack for and go to a foreign country, one that is majority Muslim, to the statistic of 99%. Here we go.
I spend a lot of time planning for my packing, and here's why. I'm anxious when I travel on my own. I'm anxious when I do anything that is unknown. So what I pack is one of the ways that I create an illusion of control.
That unhinged laughter to something that is uttered by oneself and is not funny is just a beginning taste of what is to come, okay? Because if you are going to solo travel, she's got a camera crew. She's solo traveling, so it's just Tracee talking to the camera. You better possess a wit for the ages. You better possess a surgical eye. You better be the like living embodiment of like a Dorothy Parker matched with a Ricky Gervais, matched with an Oscar Wilde and an Anthony Bourdain thrown in for good measure, okay? But here we're going to watch her settling in for her trip to Morocco with a Birkin that's worth at least $100,000. Okay, I don't think Tracee possesses the kind of self-esteem that says to oneself, you know what, instead of spending $100,000 on a real Birkin, I'll just go down the super fake route, like so many sophisticated women of means are doing. No, I'm going to buy the real thing. Okay, here we go.
And now we fly. But first we disinfect, take off our shirt, put on
She's in a first-class cabin.
Socks, and fancy pajamas, and then we tend to our skin. I always fly with a carry-on that has everything I need in the off chance that my luggage is lost. I could live out of that bag for at least a week and still look fabulous.
Okay, multiple things. One is she's offering the kind of advice that is the province of morning television in America. And I think morning television would like to have a word. Tracee tells us to pack a carry-on full of clothes that can get you through in case the airlines lose your luggage. She also tells us to pack medications and first aid supplies. We might want to bring some sanitizer because since COVID, the rest of us have forgotten the importance of cleaning up in a public place. And, the skipping, along the motorized, floor, the escalator, that's all to just make up for a lack of an utter personality, seriously. And then she's in a first class cabin flopping around. I'm so wacky in my pajamas. And she's traveling in a way that most people would dream of traveling and never will travel. She never acknowledges her privilege. Where's her acknowledgement of her privilege? Hey, I'm traveling first class. You know what Chris Rock once said? If the average person knew what went on in first class, there would be riots in the streets. And that's true. Okay, most people don't travel that way, but let's see what else Tracee gets up. This icon, this epitome of Hollywood class and glamour. What else she gets up to in first class? Look at this.
Airplane self-care, a little dry brush, arnica, stretch, air purifier, hydrate.
This is disgusting. This actually viscerally disgusts me. She is dry brushing in her cabin in her first class seat. Okay, so what she's doing is she's flaking her skin off, and her disgusting skin flakes are going all over that part of the plane. Are you kidding me? Okay, so now we land in Morocco. Okay, we land in Morocco, and on her way to her hotel, this is what passes for exploration for Tracee. She is like marveling over the color of a banged up commuter bus, and she's like in the back of her cab, like taking pictures of a banged up commuter bus. And you know who's on a banged up commuter bus? Like people who don't have a lot of money, and this is like she's at the zoo. She's a one percenter. Oh my God, the poor people on the bus. Look at the color of that bus. You think they're like, oh my God, the color of this bus? Let me try to source it for like one of my 8 bathrooms back in Beverly Hills. Now she is being driven up to her resort, and the gates are wooden. They are dual gates, they open, and they're like a 20-story high wall. Okay, so let's look at what Tracee does. She's wacky. She's a wacky, intrepid world traveler. Let's look at what she does when she lands at her hotel. She's unpacking all of her designer shoes and bags. And for lack of anything witty or self-aware or self-deprecating to say, the producers have to do a lot of heavy lifting in the editing with heart emojis and, beatific light that befits a saint around the shoe, which is the color of the Virgin Mary's veil. And she's making a singing, like, can you imagine being stuck at a party with her, like a dinner party? And by the way she packs for these trips, this is the legacy of one Sarah Jessica Parker and Sex and the City. Okay, where what are we doing if we're not traveling with 3 bags full of designer shoes and clothing? She's traveling with at least $100,000 worth of stuff. Not for nothing, the second SATC movie that was shot in Morocco. It doubled for Abu Dhabi, but it was shot in Morocco. So Tracee now spends her time in Morocco, the bulk of her time. She does not leave the hotel grounds, and I'm not exaggerating for comic effect. She goes to the hotel pool. She goes to the hotel spa. And then when she decides to venture out, she goes to the souk, which is tourist central. It's where all the tourists go to buy overpriced Moroccan goods. So we are here in Morocco to shop, okay? Again, the legacy of Sarah Jessica Parker. We are here to shop. So you think, okay, well, maybe if this is Tracee's native habitat, okay, like a market, an outdoor like extravaganza, maybe we'll get something good. Like maybe. Let's take a look.
Oh my God. Oh, I see what's happening. What? That is gorgeous. I bought this rug. Isn't she lovely? The crisscross pattern symbolizes protection against evil. Same as the hand of Fatima. I learned that from Ibrahim. Just learning things left and right. Okay, after all that shopping, back to the hotel to get ready for dinner with myself.
That's it. She went shopping. She bought a rug. She's going to get shipped back to the United States at a cost of $900, cheapest at best. And she's wiped out from all that cultural experience. The shop guy's giving her some lessons. This is what they just tell stupid Americans. Oh yeah, that pattern, that prevents against bad shit happening to you. Okay, cool. You know what she's doing in that store? If she's not taking selfies, she's getting the shop guy, the guy who runs the store, to take her picture. Like this is the epitome of social media culture, except this woman is 52 years old. Instead of her camera facing outward to see the world around her, this gorgeous foreign country and these gorgeous people with their gorgeous culture, what are we doing if we're not taking selfies of ourselves? I mean, that's redundant. Excuse me. I'm so worked up. Now, here's what Tracee Ellis Ross told the New York Times while she was promoting this show. She was asked, I don't think this person watched the show before they did this interview. Question, were you ever concerned about how to make alone time interesting? Tracee, I think there's a myth that I had to be doing things on the show. If she's not doing things, why are we here? It's a travel show. Are you for real? So Tracee says, I was like, well, I wouldn't do that. Do what? What was it suggested she do? Like travel more than 50 yards beyond her resort gates? Tracee continues, people were worried that it wasn't going to be entertaining. I was like, have you met me? I'm nuts. I've got stuff to say. She does? She thinks she's nuts because have people told her that? Like, wow, you're really quirky. Like, I think that's just people trying to be polite. We've seen no evidence of anything, but what I would consider a very dull mind, a dull mind. Um, Now, she goes on to say that I had to figure out how to share this experience, this very intimate experience of solo travel, because you can't just be in silence the whole time. Right, Tracee? That's where talking to other people who are not members of your crew or talking to an object other than your iPhone comes in. And by the way, this show, this is like insidious and nefarious, and she's not an honest broker. I don't like it. What it really doubles for is as an infomercial for her new hair care line. I'm not going to give her the plug, okay? You got to slog through that shit if you want the plug. She said she would talk to her phone as if it were her inner dialogue. Well, this is the stuff of Greek oracles, Tracee Ellis Ross's inner dialogue. So let's listen to it. She's in a foreign land, which the history of human presence in Morocco dates from 300,000 to 400,000 years ago. So let's listen to Tracee's inner effing dialogue.
I'm a little hungry after my day of shopping, so I'm going back to the Royal Mansour for a little treat. I think I deserve a treat.
Another wacky face.
I don't eat gluten. I would like to be very clear. Marrakesh so far is a beautiful place, but I would like to live inside here. Inside the cheesy bread fluff. That's where I want to live.
All right, that's it. She's got to be kidding. She's got to be kidding. She thinks this is hilarious, okay? I'm offended by this. She is incurious. She is crude, just my opinion, and she thinks that that's being cute and smart and quirky. Okay, now she goes off to Mexico, episode 2 in this 3-episode arc. She gets as much time as JFK Jr., and he died 20 years ago, sister. No, 30. It's not even worth showing this episode because I'm not exaggerating again. I'm not. She does not leave her hotel. She doesn't fucking leave it. She goes to, we see the whole thing, the packing, the getting in the airport, the flying, then we land, then we get to the resort. She goes to the spa, then she goes to the pool, and then she takes a ton of selfies, and then we see her in her like enormous private suite, which is like ground level, and it's like the windows like roll up, you know, it's open air, right? Do we see Tracee with so much as a book on her airplane or in her hotel room? We do not. Apologies if I missed it, but I don't think so. Do we see her looking for a bookstore? I don't think so. No, she's busy editing professional photos of herself taken for some sort of spread. You know, she's talking about the difficulties of trying to appear authentic, right? Because she's authentic. She's not going to airbrush out all of her wrinkles. I mean, this is the level, like, why don't you just stare at your navel? Just place your iPhone camera on your navel and talk into it, okay? Because world travel on someone else's dime, no less, is wasted on you, sister, okay? And then the most exciting thing that happens in this entire episode is a small animal, like a small, like cute, like mini, like, I don't know, squirrel, like gets in her room and she freaks out. She freaks out. Oh, and by the way, lest we forget, in Morocco, she had a wonderful human taking care of me. She had a butler. She had a private butler, okay? I want to say this just offends me on so many levels because I love travel. And what a gift it is to be given a travel show. And what a gift it is, and a privilege really, to be given the job of showing people who might not, for whatever reason, ever get a chance to see amazing lands and cultures and people and monuments and ruins, architecturally significant things that bring us together more as humans than any border could ever divide. You know, what I wouldn't give for a travel show, and it's an obscenity to me, this idiot, this moron, not only got one, but they're airing it, and she's doing the rounds like taking a victory lap. And now to the final episode. Thank God, Spain. Now, if I were doing a travel show, Barcelona is a no-brainer. Okay. If they said the country we're going to do is Spain, I would say, let's do Barcelona. It's one of the most art-centric and unique cities in the Western world. And you could draw, okay, Tracee, if you're watching this, I'm going to say don't even just tap out. You have no interest in this stuff. You could draw a straight line from Antoni Gaudí, who is the wildly inventive architect and designer whose works define Barcelona, to Tim Burton. You could draw a direct line. I don't understand how Roku gave this moron this show. And so she chooses Marbella. Fine, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, like so much of Spain, but it is hardly as intellectually and as aesthetically compelling as Barcelona. So anyway, we get to Marbella, and Tracee Ellis Ross spends her first 3 days in bed with what she claims is food poisoning. I will not bore you with those self-reports, but we get way... And not for nothing, but Tracee isn't traveling solo. She's got a film crew with her. So why she's a scaredy cat. She won't go outside. Like, she went to the souk. That was it. She won't go outside her hotel, her resort. She won't go outside the walls. I don't understand why this woman has a travel show. I mean, if you want the premise of your show to be, I'm a scaredy cat and I'm going to try to push my own boundaries, then yeah, that's at least got a premise to it. This does not. We're watching some rich, spoiled, lazy woman pamper herself and go nowhere. Okay. But give herself all the flowers for like doing all this travel on her own. Big deal. People do it all the time. Oh, whatever. Okay. Finally, we begin to explore on day 4. Now, are we looking outward finally to our final city on this show, our final country, this new experience? Are we looking outward? Apparently not. We are emotionally 12. We're a teenager and we're taking photos of ourselves at the resort. She's still at the resort. Now she's walking and she's going to talk to us about her observations regarding some of her ostensibly stated reason for going to Spain. Let's do it.
Most people come to Spain for the beaches, but I love trees. And there are so many incredible trees here at Anantara Resort Marbella.
Again, production, editing, they had to do a little lift. They had to ask somebody, they had to call the resort, say, give us, what's that tree right there? We just need to like do a chyron. We just need to do a graphic. If Tracee loves trees so much, first of all, not everybody goes to Spain for the beaches, but that's how Tracee travels. Is there a beach? Is there somewhere I can hang out at the pool? If she loves trees so much, then why doesn't she name the trees? Is she an arborist? Name the trees. How long do they live? When are they most in season? How old are they? You know, her gall here. It's wild. This is a woman who grew up in like plastic effing wrap. Okay. Now, after we've boldly strolled through the resort's vegetation, and we're not even pulling this for you because it's just not worth it. But she strolls there and then she finds herself, surprise, surprise, at the pool. This is her dialogue. Again, she was worried you think she wasn't worried she wouldn't have interesting things to say. She thought you guys would think she wouldn't have interesting observations to bring us from around the world. Tracee Ellis Ross, quote, "What a pretty pool, exclamation point. Look at this pool, exclamation point. I'm getting in this pool, no exclamation point." Okay, then she goes back to her suite on the grounds. So that's the lap. That's the lap we've done. And she changes into a dress that I'm going to guess conservatively costs $2,500, and she orders room service. And again, I will put the blame at the feet of Sarah Jessica Parker. And then she orders a negligible meal. There's nothing that really feels specific to Marbella, you know, and she has a glass of ginger ale. And I'm going to put that in quotes because we saw her previously dining somewhere at a place she told us was known for their cocktails, and she simultaneously ordered two different cocktails, right? She asked them to be served to her at the same time. And I'm going to submit just my theory that perhaps mixing her liquors might have been the cause of some of her food poisoning, which, by the way, listen, I'm just going to tell you, she's a woman of means staying at a 5-star resort. Okay. She gets sick. This is what they do. Health insurance or no, they call a private doctor, if not the resort's doctor on site, who comes up, who gives her a bunch of anti-nausea medication, electrolytes, and an IV bag full of fluids and nutrients, and you're up and at 'em 24 hours, 36 tops, okay? I'm calling bullshit on the 3 days in bed to recover from food poisoning. It's a way to just stay inside like the house cat we are. Day 5, our final day in Marbella. We are finally, I'm sure the crew was like, listen, we're hearing it from Roku Central, whatever geniuses are running Roku. You gotta go somewhere that's not the hotel grounds, lady. It's a travel show. So she ventures off now with her crew. Again, she's not traveling on her own. Are we visiting ancient ruins? We are not. Are we going to a museum? Any museum. It could be a toy museum. Any museum? No. Are we visiting historically and architecturally, significant cathedrals that litter Spain and inspire awe and make a human being feel as insignificant as we truly are? We're here for the blink of an eye. Nothing will ratify that and make you have a reckoning with yourself like travel. That's part of the point, if you ask me. Are we going to cemeteries, which I think are some of the best places you could ever visit when you're traveling? We are not. Are we dining high and low? Are we trying food trucks? Are we trying holes in the wall a la Anthony Bourdain? We are not. Are we talking to any locals who don't work in either high-end shops or restaurants or spas? No, no, and no. You know what we're doing? We're calling mommy. We're calling Miss Diana Ross, who will not allow her voice to be used on this show. Icons and legends aren't born. They're made. Diana knows what she's doing. On day 5, we are going shopping. We are going shopping in a fancy shopping district, and literally anything and everything Tracee Ellis Ross has done on this little Roku show, she could have done in Beverly Hills, okay? I don't know what she's doing here. She's wasting our time. She sure as hell is wasting her time. And this whole show is a middle finger to average people who could only dream of traveling in this fashion, let alone affording a trip to Europe right now, okay? Tracee should just take yourself over to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, schedule a call with Andy Cohen, take your inanity, your incuriosity about the world, your narcissism, your predilection for selfies, your shopping habit, your materialism, and your refusal to crack the spine of a book. Just go over there where you belong with all those other house cats. You know, if you sent Tracee Ellis Ross to Paris, you know where she would go? She wouldn't go to Notre Dame, the newly restored Notre Dame, which when that thing was burning, I felt like I was losing a person. I almost cried. It was traumatic. No, you know where she'd go? She'd go to Chanel, she'd go to Dior, and then she'd go back to the Ritz. That's it. Here's Tracee on this historic city, which she's only really spending time outside the hotel walls on one day. Marbella, I tripped myself up. This quote, oh my God. Marbella has that old world European charm that I love. I have a theory that, not only that there are clinically dull people in the world who have low IQs and don't really notice much or absorb much, but I have a theory. Part of the reason we see so many people on their phones like that people who can't even stand to stay at a red light or make a turn without checking their phone. I do think there is a segment of the population that lacks an inner monologue or like an inner dialogue where you're literally talking to yourself. Like, I don't think there's anything going on. And I think Tracee Ellis Ross could be one of them. Based on what we're seeing here, my criminal prosecution of this offender, she's in an old world European city, and she says it has that old world European charm that she loves, that she uniquely loves. Okay. So then she goes to a gourmet olive oil purveyor, fancy store, and she spends at least a couple of hours in there, and she's sampling all of the different olive oils, excuse me. She is scandalized to learn that they don't ship to the US. Tracee Ellis Ross can't buy something for a ton of money and get it shipped wherever she wants. This might be the most shocking thing she's experienced in her travels. All right, let's take a look at her trying to make this olive oil tasting interesting for us all.
I love olives. Like, since I'm a child, my sister said I smelled like olive juice. So I also love olive oil.
Okay, Meghan Markle is furiously trying to sell Netflix on a season 2, or, it's 1B. She says it's 2, so let's call it season 3. Let's just give it to her, of With Love, Meghan. Why don't we put Tracee Ellis Ross and Meghan Markle together and see what that brain trust can come up with? Now we're done. We're done here, but not before yet another specific, incisive Tracee Ellis Ross observation that has nothing to do with Marbella or Spain or Europe or the purpose of the stated purpose, as we have been sold, of this entire show. Brace yourselves.
Look at that tree! Oh, did you see that tree? It was like a hat. It looked like a hat.
Do you guys want to know how I did my hair?
Now I understand why she travels solo. There's nobody, not even a paid staff member or paid friend, who could spend more than 10 minutes in her company with that level of inanity and not want to just like self-harm. No offense to those who struggle with self-harm, but this is fucking brutal. This is fucking brutal. Okay. And finally, I like the quote that I can't help myself. Another quote from this simpleton. Quote, "I could watch trees all day." Don't you watch something in motion and look at something stationary? Why am I doing this to myself? Why? They're just gorgeous. Now, in summation, I submit to my jury humbly, I'd like to hope that the nerves evisceration of this shit show helps prevent a season 2 with Tracee Ellis Ross. But alas, here is what Tracee posted to TikTok on Thursday morning.
Look at where I am, somewhere gorgeous. Hi. Okay, I just wanted to jump on here really quickly and say, I just found out that you guys made Solo Traveling with Tracee Ellis Ross. That's me. The #1 unscripted show in Roku history. What are you talking about? Thank you. Thank you. I see all your comments. I see your videos. I see people using the audio for the trailers.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Tracee, if you're seeing all the comments and all the videos, I hope you see this edition of The Nerve. It's a mini. It's at your level of attention span. Okay, we don't have trees on our set, but we do have common sense. I wish maybe we at The Nerve someday will do like some mini travel episodes, not mini travel episodes, but you know what I mean? Like capsule episodes that are travel. And we would meet with troublemakers in other countries who could show us around. And we would at least pack a book or buy one at the airport. Tracee Ellis Ross, we at The Nerve invite you to yet another new destination, one you won't have to pack for. It's a high bar to get into the Woodchipper, but Tracee, you made it. You made it. So we're putting you in the woodshed, forget it. It doesn't have a private pool. It doesn't have room service. You'd never survive. Let's just take you to the Woodchipper. In goes Tracee with her carry-on luggage, and in there is the bottle of olive oil that the Spanish purveyor said he couldn't ship to you stateside. And out comes your iPhone. No more selfies for you. No more selfies. And the olive oil spilled all over the place. There's nothing else because you don't come with anything else. You're a bore. That's it. That's it. Tracee Ellis Ross. Hope you enjoyed it. Hey, at least you can say you share something truly in common with an icon like SJP. What if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? That's right. Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket and finally getting a little breathing room. It's possible when you call American Financing today if you are feeling stretched by everyday expenses, groceries, gas bills piling up. You are not alone. Most Americans are putting these expenses on credit cards, and there doesn't seem to be a way out in the near future. This is where American Financing can show you how to use your home's equity to pay off that debt. So call American Financing today before you get to a point where you can't make those payments anymore. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are helping homeowners just like you restructure their loans and consolidate debt, all without upfront fees. And their customers are saving an average of $800 a month. That's like a $10,000 a year raise. This is fast, it's simple, and it could save your budget this summer. So call now before it's too late. 866-885-1332. That's 866-885-1332, or visit americanfinancing.net/nerve.